manual muscle testing. It is defined as physical examination of muscular strength, which helps in diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment of neuromuscular and musculoskeletal disorder. Uses: it provides basic for therapeutic procedure. It helps in differential diagnosis. It gives knowledge of the extent of the weakness of muscles. It helps in planning of treatment program. It gives guideline to the therapist in knowing whether the treatment is effective or not by retesting the muscles. It helps the surgeon in a procedure of a muscle transfer. In a peripheral nerve injury, it is useful in determining the site and level of nerve lesion, for example, radial nerve lesion. In chronic and acute cases, MMT helps in deciding aids like crutches, canes, walkers, etc. Anatomical and physiological principles of MMT. It is always done before going for any exercise or for diagnosis, prognosis, and treatment. Attention. Perfect attention of examiner is must because each detail has great importance, so the accuracy must be there. An examiner should apply his own knowledge, skills, and experience, and he should not be careless. Knowledge. Therapist should have detailed knowledge of muscle function, such as knowledge of the joint motion, knowledge of the origin and insertion of the muscle, knowledge of the nerve supply of the muscle, knowledge of the agonist and antagonist action, knowledge of the fixation and stabilization of the muscle, knowledge of the palpation of muscle or tendon. Component. There are two fundamental components of MMT. First one is test performance and second one is evaluation of muscle strength. Prime mover. For any action there are prime mover, and by testing only prime mover one can lead to the field of individual MMT. Each muscle. If any muscle is paralyzed, the exact action is lost. No doubt that another muscle takes off its action, but deformity must be there. Individual MMT. It is preferable for the group testing of muscle in case of diagnosis of neuromuscular condition. For example, if biceps, deltoid, and brachioradialis are inactive, it suggests the involvement of spinal level of C5 and C6. Isolation. It is used to test individual or separate muscle action. Isolation is done by differentiation of muscle. Usually muscle don't cross one joint, but it may cross two joints, and hence it is called as one joint or multi-joint muscle. Differentiation of one joint muscle from two joint muscle. Muscles which cross two or more joints don't have the capacity to shorten sufficiently at all the joint at the same time. If muscle is either passively or actively placed in shortened position of one joint, the muscle is incapable to work with full efficiency at other joint. The point is very useful in case of differentiation of one joint muscle to two joint muscle. For example, gluteus maximus is one joint muscle, is differentiated from hamstring two joint muscle by placing knee in flexion position. So as the hamstring are shortened at the knee joint, they don't provide sufficient force for the hip extension. The movement occur only by gluteus maximus, and it is the isolation of gluteus maximus. Differentiation of multi-joint muscle from another multi-joint muscle. If there are two multi-joint muscle producing same action, then we have to put one muscle among them in shortened position so that it can't shorten more to produce movement, and the other muscle takes the advantage and produce the movement. For example, flexor digitorum superficialis and flexor digitorum profundus. To isolate flexor digitorum superficialis, we can flex the PIP one by one of each finger by strictly stabilizing the other fingers in neutral position. This allows the action of only flexor digitorum superficialis. Differentiation of one joint muscle from another one joint muscle. Elbow flexors, biceps, brachioradialis and brachialis. Position of patient. It should be comfortable, and handling of the patient is done particularly in case of paralytic patient. Paralyzed muscle should be handled with care. Position of patient is very important in relation to MMT into two aspects. First one is when we want to encounter the gravity factor in grading, the position of body is such that action which is to be tested is done against gravity. When we want to test a part of the body, The rest of the body should be stable. This provides the relaxation and feeling of comfort to the patient. Second one is, when we want movement in gravity eliminated plane, the movement must be done in horizontal plane. Fixation, it refers to the firmness or stability of the body, which provide the firm origin for pull to the prime mover, and so prime mover can act sufficiently. Fixation depends upon the firmness of the examination table, so one should not choose the soft bed, but the firm plinth is useful for the purpose of applying pressure. Normally fixation is achieved by means of the body weight, because body weight provides the stability. So when muscle is tested in the supine, prone, sideline position, the best fixation is gained. Normally body weight provides the fixation to the body, but in some cases an additional support is required to hold the part firmly down to the table, so the examiner stabilizes the part. For example, test of finger, breast, toe and foot muscle requires the stabilization of the proximal part. Muscle which provide fixation indirectly takes part into the action of regarding joint, hence they are called as fixator. For example, during the movement of arm, the scapula is fixed against the thorax, and during the movement of leg, pelvis is fixed. Agonist muscle may give fixation by preventing the excessive joint movement. For example, when lumbricals and interossei muscles are normal, they prevent the hyperextension of MCP joint, but when they are weak, the hyperextension takes place in MCP joint. When examiner tests the weak muscle, it helps to give assisting force. Strong muscle, it has to give resisting force. Examiner must be able to differentiate the normal action of the muscle and abnormal action of the muscle in muscular imbalance. Test position of the patient. It is the position in which the part is placed by the examiner. The test position is the time-saving device and has the accuracy. The time-saving device is in such a manner that it makes a rapid grade. For example, ask the patient to hold the position against the gravity. If he is able to do so, examiner has to test for grade above 50%, and if he is unable to do so, examiner has to test for below 50%. Test movement. While doing MMT, the examiner must be known about the possible range of motion. It will depend upon the following points. One joint muscle is capable to provide full range of motion at that joint, but multi-joint muscle is incapable to provide the full range of motion at both the joints simultaneously. Muscle weakness and restriction of range of motion can be differentiated by: if active range of motion is not achieved, examiner may do the passive movement. If passive movement is possible, then it is muscle weakness. If passive movement is not possible, then joint structure must be restricting the motion. So in this case, test is not accurate and estimate must be obtained. Resistance. The force tends to hinder the movement. It is used to determine the strength of the muscle. The direction of resistance is against the action of agonist and towards the action of antagonist. The pressure is applied gradually to determine the strength above 50%. Principle of leverage must be used for applying the pressure. The amount of pressure varies according to the size of muscle, age of patient, part being tested. Examiner must be able to distinguish between the minimum and maximum resistance in order to differentiate between grade 4 and grade 5. Weakness, shortness, contracture, tautness and tightness. Weakness, it results in loss of movement in sense that the muscle can't contract sufficiently to move the part in partial or total range of motion. Contracture and shortness both result in loss of motion in sense that the muscle can't be elongated throughout the full range of motion. Contracture is complete loss of range of motion in which passive stretching is not possible. Tautness and tightness. Tautness means lengthened muscle stretched fully and not slack. Tightness means taut muscle is considered as tight on palpation. For example, hamstrings that are short and drawn taut while touching feet will feel tight on palpating it. Substitution. Due to paralysis or weakness, muscle is unable to provide accurate movement at particular joint. So another muscle or muscle group try to compensate it, and this is known as substitution. It includes the following muscle fixator, agonist and antagonist. Substitution by fixator. It mainly occurs in movement of shoulder joint, hip joint and flexion of neck. For example, muscle which moves scapula produce secondary movement of arm. It is shown that if hip abductors are weak, the lateral flexor of trunk lift the pelvic laterally while look like abduction of the hip joint. Substitution by antagonist. Antagonist muscle help in the production of movement which is similar to the neutral movement. If the finger flexor are weak, then the wrist extension is produced excessive due to tension in the flexor tendon. Substitution by agonist. Agonist muscle help in the movement of the part in the direction of the strong agonist. For example, tensor fasciae lata may act as a substituted to the gluteus maximus by means of either flexing the hip. As a result, for MMT, no substitution should be permitted. There should be no change in the test position. Basic principles of MMT. The room in which MMT is to be done should be well lighted and well ventilated so that muscle can be seen and palpated easily for gradation. There should be no clothing over the muscle to be tested because sometimes tight clothing hampers the movement. Patient position should be comfortable. The proximal joint of the muscle to be tested must be stabilized. The amount of resistance given to the patient must depend upon the age, gender and occupation. For example, younger people have more strength than children and older people. Palpate the muscle to be tested, otherwise movement might be substituted by other muscle. Always start with grade 3. If it is more, go for grade 4 and 5, and if it is less, go for grade 2, 1 and 0. This will save the time and energy of therapist and patient. Try to do MMT of as many as muscle possible in one position, because if we go on changing the position, the patient may become tired. Record of MMT chart is necessary. With the help of chart, we can compare and see the improvement. Movement should be done in full range of motion, and if there is a contracture or stiffness, always mention in available range. For children or very small child, the position for gradation might be different than ideal position. If one limb is involved, compare the resistance with normal limb, but if both the limbs are involved, then a person with same age, gender and occupation is taken to decide the amount of resistance. Always palpate the muscle bulk for grade 1, and if muscle is deeply situated, then palpate its tendon. Limitation of MMT. It cannot be done in upper motor neuron lesion due to spasticity and presence of synergy in one particular muscle group. Pain and muscle spasm. It can't be performed during the pain and muscle spasm since it will give false result of muscle power, as subject would not perform test position due to pain and spasm. Immature and mentally retarded subject, since they can't understand the instructions.